Have you ever been in a situation where you feel awkward or you say something awkward or weird that just makes you feel uneasy, or you do something that's kind of awkward? I feel like this was my entire junior high, high school, and even college career, was being awkward, feeling awkward, especially in social situations. So I wanted to attack this today on a video, and I wanted to discuss what you can do to feel less awkward in a situation, and of course why it's so important, right? So why is it important to learn this? It's because you want to be less awkward, therefore appear and feel more confident, because confidence is something that women are attracted to. Of course, I don't have to tell you that. You know that women want a confident guy. They want someone who's sure of themselves, someone who's effective in society. So when you're more confident around women, it sub-communicates all of this. Okay, and that's why it's so important. So let's talk about this for a second. So let's talk about awkwardness, right? So one thing you have to understand is it's only awkward in a situation if you feel it's awkward, okay? So even the most confident people sometimes screw up and say something awkward or do something awkward or just are a little bit off. But the difference between someone who actually is awkward and a confident person is how they handle the situation. So what I'm saying here again is awkward is only awkward if you feel that way. And the reason this is because of something called the law of state transfer. So what this means is that the emotional state that you're in can transfer over to the person, in this case the girl, that you're talking to. So if you feel really happy and excited, she might feel that way because you're feeling that way. And we tend to take on the emotions of others because we're empathetic humans. If you feel awkward, she will feel awkward. If you feel anxious, she'll feel anxious. I remember a long time ago, I was hanging out with a couple of guys and I was feeling really anxious about something. It had nothing to do with women, just I was feeling anxious about something going on and I was acting very anxious. And my friend was like, dude, you're making me feel very anxious right now. Like, what's going on? Like, you got to chill out. And it's funny too, because I wasn't saying anything. None of this was verbal at all, but he could feel it. We tend to feel what's going on around each other based on their emotions, okay? If you're acting and feeling awkward, she'll feel that way. So if you ever do something that tends to be awkward or weird or strange in a situation, but you blow it off like it's not a big deal, this is going to be the key from turning awkwardness into confidence. So what I'm talking about here is this idea of social awareness, which is very, very sexy to a woman. She wants to be with a guy who is very socially aware, okay? This is an alpha male trait. This is showing that this is someone who is a leader, someone who is the leader of the pack, so to speak, okay? And only that person is gonna have really tuned in social awareness. So what I'm saying here is call out the weirdness, acknowledge it. Acknowledge the fact that something you said was a little strange or a little weird, or that you might be feeling in a certain way. But be careful here. I don't want you to call out the fact that you're nervous, because that's not going to look confident. You're just going to call out the fact that something happened that might have been a little strange. And I'll give you some examples right now. Let's say you're talking to a girl and all of a sudden your head goes blank. Do you ever go blank, or you forget to say something, or you forget what you were about to say? Instead of sitting there all awkward and tense and weird about it, just acknowledge it, right? This is social awareness. Acknowledge it and call it out. So you might just say like, man, I totally forgot what I was gonna say there. Does it ever happen to you? Do you ever just completely blank? So you can say that. You're acknowledging it, you're calling it out, you're drawing her in. This is how a confident person would react in a situation just like that. Let's imagine you're really nervous and you're talking really fast like this and everything's going 100 miles per hour. Well, you can all of a sudden catch yourself. So again, social awareness, you're catching yourself and go, you know what? I am talking 1,000,000 miles per minute. Let me slow down for a second and keep on saying what you're saying a little bit slower. Again, this is just an example of something where you're doing something that feels like you're acting awkward and you're calling it out. I wrote them down, that's why I'm looking down here. Okay, so here's another one, very, very common one. Sometimes you're sitting there, it's not that you forgot what you were gonna say next, but you actually just ran out of things to say. I dare you, when you run out of things to say, because this is a big fear for guys, is that they don't know what to say to a girl when they go up and talk to her, I dare you to just call that out. And you'd be surprised how amazing your brain is, really how incredible your brain is at coming up with something to say in the moments where there's a little bit of a silence. But what you can do in this situation to, again, social awareness, call it out, is say, you know what? I totally just ran out of things to say. So what I'm saying here is the technique is call it out, okay? Call it out. So the next time that you're in a situation where you think you've done something that's a little weird, a little strange, or just off of your game, anything, just call it out. Okay? This is gonna happen to you no matter what. It still even happens to me. It's like you're not always, completely on. You're not always completely smooth. Sometimes you'll do something that just completely screws up the conversation. And by the way, what's so interesting about all this is you are probably thinking in your head that it's way more awkward than it really is. So a lot of the times when you're talking to someone, you are judging yourself so much harsher than the person who's talking to you. You might think a silence is going on for longer than it really is, but it's so painful for you because you think you're the one who's screwing up. So what I'm saying here is even though you might feel like you're screwing up or being awkward, most of the time you might not even be feeling that way at all, and you're having a completely normal conversation, and whatever glitch you think you made is not that big of a deal. But in the case that you think it is, you know now what to do and what a confident person does. If you want to learn about how to be more confident, I actually have a free video called Instantly Confident that teaches you how to be the most confident person in the room. It's completely free and it gets you on my email list as well. Go down to the link below, put your email in, and you'll get that to your email. And as well, every week I'll be sending out emails to you that are going to help you with meeting and attracting women. So check that out. It's called Instantly Confident. Press the like button if this helped you, and I'll see you on the next video.